My kids love superhero movies. Batman, Spider-Man, Superman, Wonder Woman, they love all of them. And I'm pretty sure I have personally seen every superhero movie known to man. And I found they all seem to have one thing in common. The most ridiculous stuff happens and everyone's fine. A truck can fall on top of one of these characters and they get up unscathed. I think there's something deep inside all of us that wants that for our lives. We want to believe we can survive anything and live forever no matter what. Essentially, we all want to be Batman bulletproof. I'm constantly searching for ways that I can make myself and my family healthier and more bulletproof as we go through life. And today we are going to talk about the secret weapon that I have found in this fight, and that is a sauna. Saunas have been studied for a very long time. A recent study shows that saunas can reduce all-cause mortality by 40%. All-cause mortality means just that, all the causes of mortality. So to me, that makes it seem like saunas make you pretty much bulletproof like those characters in the movie. Now, you might have heard this before. You might have heard that saunas can provide a 40% reduction in mortality, but you might not know the details behind it. Those flashy media headlines sometimes only tell part of the story. You really need to understand the full story so that you can get the full benefits. But before I jump into all the benefits of saunas, let's address the naysayers out there. Some people think saunas are dangerous. However, a literature review of the health effects and risks of saunas showed no ill benefits even in children and even in those on medication, which is a really bold statement that's not often made in the medical community. Now, I'm going to link all of the studies that I referenced today in the description box below if you want to go ahead and read the full studies for yourself. The only caveat that the authors of the study noted was for those on hypertension drugs. Those types of drugs essentially artificially lower your blood pressure. What we're going to learn in a moment is that saunas can naturally help lower your blood pressure. So you can see how it could be potentially dangerous to be lowering your blood pressure twice over. Of course, I need to encourage you to use common sense if you are going to use your sauna. Don't crank it up to 160 degrees and sit in there for 6 hours, and don't drink any water. However, safe sauna use is just that, safe. As always, before making any changes to your diet or lifestyle, you should check in with your medical health professional. But if you get the go-ahead, you'll be well prepared to start your sauna journey after watching this video. One of the most exciting benefits of regular sauna use is the cardiovascular protection it provides. That study that I mentioned in the beginning of the video, the one where we saw a 40% reduction in all-cause mortality, the authors pointed to cardiovascular protection as one of the main benefits for this massive reduction in all-cause mortality. The reason why is because stroke is the second leading cause of death in those over 60. Here's when we get to the part where you really need to pay attention. When the study cites regular sauna use, we need to take a look at what the word regular means. Regular use, as used in the study, was 4 to 5 times a week. The study found that those that use the sauna just 2 to 3 times a week also saw some positive benefits, but nowhere near as dramatic as that 40% all-cause mortality reduction. So as you can see, the frequency here really matters, and that's why I actually recommend just purchasing an in-home sauna. This is going to be one of the best purchases that you ever make for your health. It's very cumbersome to try to drive somewhere and utilize a sauna, and also to be paying for it somewhere else 4 to 5 times a week. If you make that initial investment up front, however, it's yours to use as you see fit for yourself and your whole family. Saunas have been shown to improve overall cardiac function in a variety of metrics. There was a meta-analysis done titled Effects of Sauna Bath on Heart Failure that showed that sauna use was correlated with an improvement in cardiac function. Improved cardiac function then translates into so many other health benefits down the line. Now let's move on to our next benefit, which is acute and chronic conditions. There was a study done on sauna use and oxidative stress, damage, and inflammation in the body. Again, it'll be linked below. But what that study showed was one of the main ways that saunas are able to help reduce chronic disease and acute disease was by lowering inflammation in the body. Now, inflammation has been said by some to be the root cause of almost every disease. So it makes sense that lowering inflammation is going to help lower the incidence of both acute and chronic disease. So in this study, they followed around 2,969 men for 11 years. Those that used the sauna frequently which remember is 4 to 5 times a week, saw a lowered hsCRP, fibrinogen, and leukocyte count. These are all types of markers of inflammation in the body that they were following. And those men that were going in 4 to 5 times a week saw a lowering of all of those inflammatory markers. Now remember, lower inflammation means less acute and chronic disease. A third benefit of regular sauna use is an improvement in brain health. The first brain health improvement that we see is in cognition. In this next study, they took young men and put them in a sauna for 90 minutes. When they came out of the sauna, they used an EEG and an ERG and had them perform something called oddball tasks. These are tasks that the men had not done before. They were new, so they require a lot of cognitive power. The conclusion was that post-sauna recovery to normal thermia showed an improvement in resting neural network relaxation, and it also showed an increase in cognitive processing for the oddball tasks. So basically, regular sauna use can make you smarter too. The next brain health benefit that we see is with depression. Now, the study that I'm going to link below is titled Interleukin-6, a good kid hanging out with bad friends. This study showed that the sauna was actually able to alleviate depression in the participants. Now, the reason why is kind of going back to that title. So, interleukin-6 is an inflammatory cytokine, causes inflammation in the body, but only when it's present with some of the other bad inflammatory cytokines like TNF-alpha and interleukin-10. When IL-6 or interleukin-6 shows up by itself without its bad friends, it does not cause inflammation, and it actually can be protective and beneficial. So what the researchers found was that with regular sauna use, we saw a resurgence of IL-6 without the bad guys, the inflammatory friends like IL-10 and TNF-alpha. So I know that sounds really complicated, but basically what they found was that regular sauna use was able to reduce depression by controlling the inflammation in the body. There's a lot of new emerging research showing that inflammation is at the root cause of depression. So that is a really exciting and promising first step, potentially coming up with some new ways to treat depression. So we've covered cardiovascular protection, we've talked about brain health, and the next thing we're going to talk about is detoxification. Now, even if you don't feel like you particularly need some of those other benefits that I mentioned, I can pretty much promise that you do need detoxification. Our world today is very, very toxic. There's BPAs in plastic, and there's lead and arsenic in our water, and there's pollution outside and inside. We can all use a little bit more help when it comes to detoxification. Now, sweating is one of the best ways to eliminate toxins, but it can't be just any old form of sweating. Like I said in the beginning of this video, the details really matter, so let's take a look at that. When you are working out, you are in a sympathetic dominant state, also known as fight or flight. Your body essentially thinks that you are running from a tiger. And when your body thinks you're running from a tiger, it is going to give all of the preferential energy towards your survival. So it's going to send all of the blood and all of the energy to your central organs, to your muscles, so that you can run really fast. And it is not going to care at all about toxins and detoxification and purifying your body and making it healthier. All it wants to do is survive. Now, sweating when we work out is great because working out is great, but just know that you're not getting the detoxification benefits from working out that you would get from sweating in a sauna. So when we are in a sauna, we are in a parasympathetic state, not a sympathetic state. That parasympathetic state is also known as rest and digest. So that's when your body can prioritize any of those functions that go towards resting and rebuilding and regenerating your body, and detoxification is one of them. So there's a thyroid medication called levothyroxine. There's a study done on patients using levothyroxine that had regular sauna use. After the end of the study, they were actually able to come off of their levothyroxine. The researchers believe the reason for this was actually detoxification. Their bodies were able to remove so many of the toxins that were getting in the way of their thyroid functioning properly that they didn't even need the thyroid medication by the end of the study. Toxins can impact us in so many different ways, and that's just one of many examples. So now that we have reviewed some of the benefits of sauna and why we want to do it, I've already alluded to how important it is to do it the right way. So let's take an even closer look at exactly how you can start using a sauna if you get the go-ahead from your doctor. Number one is the frequency. You've already heard me say 4 to 5 times is optimal. That's the amount that was used most often in these studies to see the biggest benefits. Now, the enemy of good is best. So if you can't go in 4 to 5 times, don't don't quit and not go in at all. Going in once, twice, 3 times a week even, you're still getting some of the benefits. You're not getting the maximum benefits, but you are still benefiting. So do what you can when you have time. Maybe you're at a stage in life right now where you can only go in once a week, but maybe next year you'll be able to hit 4 to 5 times. Okay, next up is duration. How long should you stay in? So a good rule of thumb is once you start sweating, to stay in another 20 minutes of actually sweating. So most people, it takes between 5 to 15 minutes to start sweating, and then you're gonna wanna try to stay in for 20 minutes. But you might need to work your way up to that. If you feel dizzy, if you feel lightheaded, you absolutely should get out earlier. Don't worry about it, take your time. You might only be able to stay in for 5 minutes initially. Maybe the next time you can go in for 6. Slowly work your way up until you're able to stay in for 20 minutes at a time. And my third and final tip when it comes to using a sauna is what to do when you get out. So remember we talked about how when you sweat, you're sweating out toxins. Now you don't want to let those reabsorb back into your skin. You've got to get them off. So I recommend you either vigorously towel off right when you get out or you take a shower right when you get out. But either way, you want to make sure that you're getting those toxins off your skin so you don't reabsorb them back in. Okay, so let's talk about what type of sauna to get because there are a lot on the market and I know it's really overwhelming and confusing. I get asked all the time, which sauna is the best? So I'm going to give you some tips and some guidance so you can kind of navigate that for yourself. Now remember, we are using a sauna to become healthier, not sicker. The 2 main ways that saunas can make you sick are toxins and EMFs. So let's start with toxins. Think about one of the wood saunas. That wood could be sprayed down with chemicals. This is sometimes done to speed the drying process of the wood. Sometimes it's done to remove any pests that might be in the wood. And then the next step often is to coat the wood with some type of VOC or volatile organic compound. So you need to make sure that if you're buying a wood sauna, it is toxin free and VOC free because when you sit in that sauna, any of those toxins are going to off gas and you're just going to be breathing them in and absorbing them in. Next up is EMFs, also known as electromagnetic fields. These are given off by pretty much everything these days, from cell phones to Wi-Fi routers to digital clocks. Anything electronic is going to give off some type of EMF. Unfortunately, high doses of EMFs are really hazardous to your health, so much so that many countries in Europe have actually banned Wi-Fi use and cell phone towers from being used in and near schools to help protect developing children's brains. So for me, it's really important that if I'm going to be going into something like a sauna to try to improve my health, I don't want to be bombarded by EMFs while I'm doing it. So my favorite portable sauna is the Therasage. Now, a portable sauna is like one of those little tents where your head is out. Those are actually a really great choice because when your head is out, you're able to keep your head cool and just bring up your core body temperature. So you're still getting all of the benefits of the sauna by raising your core body temperature, but you're able to stay in longer because your head is out and you're able to keep your head cool. Therasage has a long-standing reputation for deeply caring about those with chronic illness. The founders had Lyme disease in their family, and that's why they created a whole line of saunas and biomats and ozone bubblers and all kinds of cool things. They were very intentional about how they built their portable sauna. They wanted to make sure that there weren't a lot of EMFs, so they used the lowest EMFs they could, and then to take that a step further, they put certain gems in the construction of the sauna that help absorb some of the EMFs that are given off. They also feature a really special LED called the Tri-Light. The Tri-Light generates frequencies in the red light spectrum, the near infrared spectrum, and the 1080 diode spectrum. Now, because this one is my favorite, I reached out to the company and secured a discount code KB Wellness. I'm going to put a link in the description box below if you want to try out a Therasage portable sauna for yourself. Make sure you use my code so you get the discount. Now, let's talk about the big giant wood saunas. I have 2 favorites in that category. One is Sunlight In and the other is Clear Light. Now, both of them are very careful about their VOCs. They're very careful about how their wood is sourced, and they have low EMFs. So whether it's Therasage, Clear Light, or Sunlight In, those are all really good choices. It is definitely going to be an investment, but I honestly can't think of a better investment in your health, which is why we own one. And not only do I go in it all the time, but my husband goes in and all of my kids go in the sauna all the time as well. There's really no other single purchase that you can make that's going to provide you cardiovascular benefits and cognitive benefits and detoxification benefits and inflammation benefits and more. There's a couple other benefits of saunas that I didn't even get into today because this would just be too long, but weight loss and metabolism are some of the other benefits that you would see from regular sauna use. Now, if you have any questions about saunas, feel free to leave it in the comment box below. I would love to help you out on this. I know it's confusing and there's a lot of different kinds out there, but hopefully today gave you a good first start understanding the amazing benefits of sauna and how to use them properly and what to look for if you are going to purchase a sauna for yourself. I hope you found this video helpful. Don't forget to hit the subscribe and the notification bell so you don't miss any new videos when they come out on Tuesdays and Thursdays.